Okay, good day, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today we have a new guest with us, and today our new guest will be talking about how to get admission to Canada and how to get full funding. So there are some steps, there are some process that it needs to require, and he will be telling us if there are any standardized exam also, and if you need to contact a supervisor for a admission in Canada for MSc and PhD program. So particularly today, he's going to be talking about mathematics because he's a mathematics person. So from there, he can talk about general admission process that he has an idea about and inform us some things that we need to do to be successful with our application. So for me not to mix words together and not to miss anything out, I'll leave it to our guest today to do a brief introduction about himself, all the things that he wants us to know, and then we can go into what we are here for today.
Thank you for having me this afternoon. My name is Michael Opadotun. I'm a graduate student here at the University of Regina, and I'm studying mathematics, like you rightly said. my research work basically is on simplicial enrichment to chain complexes. It's a branch of algebraic topology in mathematics, right? So I'm a graduate of the University of Ibadan. I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
African. So yeah. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is about a brief introduction. It's from Ibadan, Abi. Where are you?
I'm an Osun State boy. Osun State.
Okay. So how can you detail your experience and how you went about your admission process?
As per my admission, yeah. I started way back, I think 2018, and although when I started, I never had so much experience as to what to do as to applications and all. I had this aunt who was like a guardian that helped me through the processes of the admission, and but it was basically like applying into the school. I was even thinking of writing an examination like GRE or GMAT or something, but I never wrote any examination, right? So it was basically just apply, get to have some write-ups like the personal statement and other write-ups like that. Yeah, a research interest and everything. So, and yeah, so after that, then the visa application came into place, and she also guided me through those ones as well. So I would say it's basically informations that we need, and through informations you can just work or act on the informations that you are given.
Okay. Yeah. So now, if you would detail step-by-step process of your application process, can you detail how you went about it from the onset to when you receive your admission letter before you move to visa processing and the rest?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So a detailed process. First of all, I was like, what school do you want to go to? So like she was here. She's in Regina actually. Like, okay. So like, I mean, it would be comfortable to come over to Regina since I have someone there already.
Okay.
And she's an alumnus, right, from here. So I chose the school, and then the next one was the program to go for. I'm a mathematics graduate, so I was like, I think it's better to continue with the masters in mathematics. Okay. So I checked for the programs in mathematics which they had. After which I went onto the website and see what are the requirements for a study in mathematics as per the master's program. Then I began getting every necessary document that would suit that requirement. Eligibility was, of course, the CGPA was very okay, right? So it was now the place of letters, transcripts, certificates, and maybe what's it called? Letter from my supervisor. And yeah, a couple of other write-ups, which was the piece of the personal statement I talked about earlier on. So I had a personal statement to work on also, like wrote that one out. And then there are actually spaces for each of the requirements that you need to just, upload them into their fields. So just upload and upload and upload. And yeah, then I had to pay $100 application fee. I mean, no
Canadian.
one's supposed to do that, right? Yeah, Canadian dollar. Yeah, $100 Canadian fee actually, yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that was how actually I went until I waited a while and the admission came into
Wow.
moment.
So the admission came, then it came with full funding, and you were able to go to the embassy, get to Canada. What was the package like?
Okay, when I actually get the admission, I never get admission with any scholarship or funding.
Okay.
It was all with the intention of coming to work and school, or possibly get assistance from anywhere I could get assistance, right? So, and I was believing in God that God will make a way, you know. So that was like it for me when I started. And I had this uncle who was working in in the oil company, so I used his account as per a sponsored account for maybe bank statement that will be required for my visa processes and all. Yeah, so
Okay.
so
So
that's how I came into place.
okay. So because I know in US, if you don't have back statement and all, and you don't have an assistantship or a scholarship, they are not going to issue an I-20 for you because you need that I-20 to go to the embassy to apply for visa. So is there any document like that that you must receive from your school aside admission letter that you will need to take to the embassy that must be provided? Because I'm thinking once you get the admission letter sent to you, are there no other document the school sent that warrant them maybe like saying we want to see a financial document, maybe can you pay for the school fee or something or the rest? Like some schools here also, even while giving you assistantship, they still want you to the first 2 or 3 months before you settle down, have enough money to cater for yourself for the first 2 3 months before you settle down and you start receiving your stuff, because sometimes the processing might not be very quick for you to be receiving your stipend or your scholarship. So they want you to have something, a financial statement that can cater for you for the first few months also. So is there anything that relates to that as per Canada in your case?
Okay, for Canada, there was really no, except for when I actually went to the embassy to, like, okay, I went to their website, what's it called, cic.gc, to get to see what are the requirements also, or documents that will be necessary for a visa application. And basically from school was just the admission letter. Oh. So the bank statement was like already on the website, as in the CIC website.
That's the website.
Right?
Okay.
Yes. So I had to like use my uncle's account, since he at least he had a large amount of money in the account. So, so yeah, it was.
so I see. So it's like it's kind of like a smooth or like a smooth process, very smooth and straightforward. Not really smooth, but I would just say there's no like very clumsy like US or other school now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. So now you went for the visa. We are not talking about visa processing now, so we'll talk about that another day. But we just want people to get admission first to know that there are opportunities for them outside their comfort zone. So now you got there. Now, how did you go about getting funding? Because when you get to the school, you got a full funding, which I know about. So how were you able to get that?
Okay. So when I came into Canada, I actually never had anything, like no money, nothing. But I had faith in God, and I had this mind of I need to get this done, right? So I started the program. My first semester, I already before the first semester started, I already went around looking for jobs. Like even my aunt that was here that helped me with the whole admission guidance and everything. She was like, where's your resume? Let's work on it. Let's tweak it a bit to make it look like the standard of the Canada's, like, the Canadian standard and everything. So I started moving around, getting to apply for jobs here and there, and I was able to get one one that time, although like it was paying like the minimum wage, which wasn't so much. Excuse me.
Problem.
So but then during my first semester, there used to be this lecturer who comes to my class. He was not teaching us, but he had a relationship with one of the lecturers who was teaching us during those classes. So as I came in as a course based in the University of Regina, there are more than two though, but at least primarily two programs. Is that you come in as a course based or a thesis based, right? And the thesis based is the one that requires you having a supervisor that would walk you through a research work, like a research program, or a course based program where you just come for classes, right? So I came in as just for coursework. I never known any supervisor all along. So so I just came in just to come and study and to leave. So during the first semester, then he used to like come to the class. He would just come listen to the whole lecture. He wasn't teaching. He just came to just have fun with us and everything. So I ended towards the end of my first semester of the classes, I ended to write a project.
Okay.
So while working on the project, my lecturer who was actually teaching us primarily advised that I go meet him for guidance as to how to write the project, because he has a student because he is a supervisor to a student. So I went to meet the guy, and I was like, okay, I need to write a project and everything. So he just okay, that's very good. Like it was very, very accommodating and welcoming, and he started walking me through some topics he has in mind that I can work on that would seem comfortable for me as per what I've learned in the class that I was in, right? So I worked on with him. So one of the times I told him, sir, because I realized that as a course-based student, you don't have the opportunity of doing a PhD. At this time, I was not even looking at funding or anything. So I was looking at okay.
So a course base will not be admitted.
You can't do a PhD.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes, you have to be a thesis based to be a PhD, at least for Canada wide. I don't know how it goes as per other countries, right? So I was now, as at that time, looking at how can I now at least have the opportunity of doing a PhD program. I have to switch to a thesis, and to switch a thesis, excuse me, please. I need to have a supervisor. So I'm like, okay, would you want to be my supervisor? Like, I just asked him, and I was like, I mean, I don't know you very much yet, very much yet. So like, So I had to like, okay, with time, I'm pretty sure we'll get to know each other. And he said that actually, don't worry, let's just work together like this. And we got on working, and I think at the end of the first semester, I kept on going to his office, work with him, because the project work was not yet over at those times. So we were still working together. Then I was still like, once in a while, I was just hinting to him that, so what do you think so far? So I think he checked on my classes and the results and everything. Then he was like, okay, he would have to give me some questions to work on personally. Like one thing later another, he took me in as a student. At the end of the day, he got impressed. And I was like, okay, you someone I can work with. So he took me in, and within like I think a month or two, he was the one who actually applied for the funding for me.
Wow.
Well, so I mean, it just came, and I'm like, whoa, wow. He just came like that. So yeah, and I know in the school here that, as per information now, I know in the school here that most lecturers, not all though, but most lecturers have fundings for students. So for anyone applying to come to Canada to study, maybe University of Regina or any other university, I think it would be good to make inquiries as to maybe emailing some lecturers, checking out their research interest, and if it tallies with yours. You don't necessarily have to talk to them about funding. No, they would apply for the funding for you. Like my case. And even the second person that came after me, because we are two under him now, right? The second person that came after me also just emailed him from India, and once later that she also got the same funding too. So it's basically the way you
present yourself,
carry yourself to them, or present yourself to them as per the email you send to them, and your research interests too. make sure it tallies with what they want to do and what they are doing basically. So, and I'm sure
Not
be a
just
smooth ride.
sending a random email. You must have gone through
Yes,
read
please.
one or two papers and see if it aligns with yours. Wow, that's good. That's a good information. I never knew if you do a course base in Canada, you can't do a PhD program. I never knew. I'm just hearing
Yes,
that now.
yeah.
So I only knew there was a course base and there's a thesis base, and that thesis base comes with funding, but course base does not come with funding, blah blah blah. And the rest. So people kind of like, okay, so if I'm doing course base, how do I get the money? How do I get the funding and everything? Well, they can always get funding once they can get the admission first and know someone who they have in mind that they can work with. Wow.
And I just as a way of information as well, like there are also scholarships out there that you can source for. There's this Vania scholarship, one of the universities in Canada here. You can check that out. Then I mean there are a couple of them, like that. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So now the next thing I want to ask is, how was it like for you as an international student? I know now you've acclimatized with the environment.
Still acclimatizing.
How are you as an international student, first finding yourself in Canada, in cold, in snow and everything? How were you able to navigate and survive combining school and work and everything as a student? Your first few months, how do you survive? How were you able to combine everything together? I know you have an answer, but I know Canada, I know it's not okay like Nigeria that, oh, I have a sister somewhere, I can go and sit down in their house 24/7 and be eating morning, afternoon, night. I know it's not like that.
Yeah.
So how did you survive? How were you able to survive?
Wow. I came into Canada February. That's like the peak of the winter period. I'll tell the truth, it was really brutal for me. As in very, very challenging. Like although I don't stay with my aunt, I stay alone, like I stay somewhere else, like yeah, her basic work in my life through God was the place of helping me through the application process. And although she still assists me through some other things because I still go to her for guidance, right? So it was really, really a challenge as per my first year. The first few months, it was really, really a challenge because the cold was like to the peak. Goodness. But it was as though I was living in the fridge every day, like, and it's an everyday thing. And it got to the point that I got overwhelmed, and I'm like, let me just go back to Nigeria. I'm tired. I'm done. Like, But then I had two roommates who are also in school. One is done now. One is continuing his program, right? But so they were like, okay, I'd get these are things you need to get: jackets, the winter jacket, and every other thing. Although as at the first few months, I wasn't going to classes. All I was just doing was just searching for jobs, right? Because I just could meet my aunt. She just print out a resume for me, and then I'm out again. So most times I'm either back into the house and just indoor. Even inside the house, it is still cold. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, hey, let me go back home. But all along, I was able to survive the period, maybe due to the friends around and due to the mind, like I had to like get this done. This has to be done. And it wasn't very, very easy as to working and schooling. That was a big challenge on its own because I was never used to this kind of life where you have to work and school. It was a big challenge. And the piece of timing too. I had to like deal with time because everything is time related. And African boy like us that we use African time back in the day or back in our country. I had to like adjust to working with time as to this has to be this. And to overcome that, I had to like use my calendar on the phone. So I just put down schedules and the time slots for each of them. And okay, this is time I need to rest. time I need to be at this place, prepare for work at this time, things like that. And that helped me all through. So yeah, that's how I was able to like survive the period.
That's a lot of information. Well, you've heard it all, everyone. Applying to admission in Canada might look insurmountable. Well, it is not that difficult. So first, you can go if you don't have the mind of PhD, you can go for course base. If you have PhD in mind, you definitely know that you are going for thesis base, and you don't need to write GRE for Canada. Only some school will require you to write high ATS or TOEFL, just few schools. And some schools don't require that from you, which the French-speaking part don't require all that from you. You just your application material and your statement of purpose, research statement or personal statement, which talks about you, your motivation for coming to grad school, which is very, very important. And also your recommendation letter is also very, very important. So I think those are the main things that we've talked about today that you need. And you need God, and you need grace, and you need favor. You need to meet the favor, because that is the most important thing. You need to meet the favor, because you can keep doing everything, and it might not really work out. So you need to seek God. You need to seek God. So God is everything. So I think that will be all for today. So thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you for coming to share your experience with us. Thank you
for having me.
I know I cannot pay you some Canadian dollars now, but very soon, don't worry, we'll get there. I'll pay you for your time. I'll pay you forward. So thank you, and that will be all for today.
Thank you so much, sir. All right.